Welcome back to How Are You Now? T, how are you now?
Good, and you?
Not so bad.
Awesome.
I'm Dean. That's
Tiara?
I think.
You said that's and then pointed at me. I'm like, wait, this is new.
I got to throw you a curveball every so often.
Uh-huh.
Or a dirty dangle. And today we have with us Kevin and Mark from the Two Guys on Friday Horror Podcast.
Woohoo.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Oh,
got
of course.
invited to do a podcast the other day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Beautiful.
We're going to have to cut that part.
Right as soon as you guys asked us about that, I'm like, I got to see that. I gotta see that.
And these are our
He was
first.
planning this line for 3 days.
These are our first official Canadians on the show. Full.
That is so funny to me.
Oh.
I don't know how that's
awesome.
happened, but yeah.
I mean, I have asked others, but that hasn't happened yet. So,
True.
All right. Well,
but so welcome,
thanks, eh?
or I guess you should be. Well, you should be welcoming us. I
Oh,
guess.
wait, no, I think we're welcoming them. Or, no, I don't know. I had something for a second there, and now it's gone.
So, guys, what I like to do at the top of the show is have you guys introduce yourselves. Tell us what you're about. Tell us about your show. We do all the plugs up front so that we don't have to make everybody wait until the end. Though
Okay.
everybody pretty much listens to the end because we're fucking hilarious.
We are so funny. We are so funny. Oh, my God.
So go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, I'm Mark. We are, like you said, Two Guys on Friday. That's Kevin sitting across from me. Say hello, Kevin.
Hey, I'm Kevin.
And we talk mostly about horror movies and whatever's going on in the horror community. That's the gist of it. Got the odd time some pretty nice tunes ripping in the middle of our show, but keeping people informed about what's going on horror-wise.
Nice. Where can people find you?
On iTunes, Google Play Music, on now recently Spotify and
Stitcher.
yeah,
Excellent. You got on the Spotify.
finally.
We're all over the place now.
I say
Excellent.
the Spotify and I think of saying on the net.
Right?
I know it took me a while when from Podskier to get on Spotify, and I just kind of
It was
into
faster
it.
for How Are You Now
Yeah,
than
well,
it was for
because they-
Podskier.
Well, because I think I'd sent you the link that I used to get on Spotify. Doing
Okay.
a little of the podcast sausage making here.
Anyone listening at home that does not also listen to Podskier, that was totally a callback to some episode that
Yeah.
he and Don talked about like a while ago.
So yeah, they said because I sent them, there was a Google Doc that they had for requesting to get set up on Spotify, and then finally they said, okay, we're tired of getting all these requests. Here is a podcasters.spotify.com. Go ahead and put your RSS feed in here, and more than likely we'll accept. And that's what we did, and it didn't take hardly any time. So,
Right?
So how long? Here's the question for you guys: how long have you guys been out there?
well, on this since December.
Yeah, we've gone pretty quickly.
Wow.
So Podskier, which is my other podcast, which we go out and we interview in independent podcasts and chat with them about why they do what they do. That in a week that will be a year old.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Good for you.
Right
All
on.
right.
So let me ask you guys this. Do
Yes.
you like horror movies?
I'm okay with horror movies. My problem is there's so many bad ones. I just like.
And
But
I love the terrible ones.
I know you. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Tiara,
the B-rated are the best.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
So I'm
right?
trying to hint at something here.
so
Ooh.
If
Tiara
this
would love to
podcast
come.
goes very well,
Yes.
maybe you can be on our podcast. We'll get you to
Hell
watch
yes.
some Friday the 13th movies.
Yes.
And you can come on our show. How about that?
I love it. I love it so much.
Awesome.
And then I can talk about my Shining and the Birds tattoos, my zombies.
Nice.
Nice.
Dean, all you did was laugh. Is that a yes or a no?
I'm happy to be on it. You know what I should do though is Dawn should be here with Tiara.
Yeah, Dawn is
Dawn
definitely
is my
the horror
co-host
movie.
for Podskier. They're the horror
Oh,
nerds.
okay.
I know very little about horror. I mean, I've seen horror.
I was born and raised on Stephen King,
Yeah.
so
I mean, and like I said, not that I have an issue with horror. It's just that I'm not.
It's not your deal.
It's not my thing.
it's like comedies. You watch comedies, and I
Yeah.
go, okay, I need to be really high to enjoy that.
like
So-
Rick and Morty.
Like Rick and Morty. Yeah, I will acquiesce to. They are a perfect show to watch when I'm smoking pot. That is the highest comedy compliment you can pretty much get from me, unless it's like a what do you call it, a dramedy, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or
Oh
something.
yes,
Oh yeah,
I like
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Or
And-
Letterkenny.
in the Good Place.
Yeah.
In the Good Place. A good, like, intelligent humor, not...
And that's the thing about Letterkenny that we've talked about before is
Mm-hmm.
these are simple people, but the humor in it is really kind of intelligent.
Yeah, it's like these super high-class jokes that a lot of people miss, and then fart jokes mixed in.
Yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
makes it so
Yeah,
accessible.
it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty amazing to hear like a lot of the stuff that comes out of these like redneck type people.
yeah,
It's actually pretty thoughtful.
right.
Yeah.
I got to ask a question. Are there people in the world like this that actually exist? Because if so, I want to be friends with them.
Well,
The
yes.
hockey players, I can say yes.
Well, you guys are in Alberta, so that's country out there.
It
Right.
is.
Or as
It
my
is for
family
sure.
in BC would say, damn Albertans.
Oh, exactly, right? All I can say, I would listen to one of your older podcasts, and what the episode it was where they were picking rocks at the beginning,
Mhm.
Yep.
and you guys were wondering why do you pick rocks?
Uh-huh.
There is a real reason for it,
Okay.
like a legit reason. Like one of them is yes, so the animals don't step on the rocks, break their leg, that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
it's also to save farm equipment from needing repair. Like if you're running through a field, plowing it up, and you hit a huge rock, like you're going to cause some serious damage to your equipment.
There
I
you
know
go.
it's not exactly fun or funny, but hey,
Hey, I mean,
it's like why is 24?
Well,
Why is 7-Eleven open 24 hours and still has locks on it?
oh, let's not start going into those. I love pulling things like that. My students, they know that I'm either going to hit them with a pun or some kind of weird logic thing, because I totally will be like, hey, what do you think about this? Try and figure this one out. And it'll be something like that, where like, why do kamikaze pilots wear helmets? And they'll be like,
why is there
What grade
braille?
do you teach?
Why is there braille on the keypads of drive up ATM?
yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But that one actually that one's pretty simple. Blind people take cabs.
True story.
That is true. Yeah.
Nobody thinks about that. But anyway, so
oh my God, I love tangents. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is not Podskier. We don't go off. We try to limit the tangents.
We
on
do
this
try.
one.
We try. We're very talky people.
We
so
don't do 3-hour shows on this one.
no 3-hour streams of consciousness. You mean?
Exactly. So on this episode, we're covering season 3, episode 2, second episode into the season.
Yeah.
Puck Bunny.
Fuck, buddy.
Yes.
So real quick, we'll do a brief recap of episode 1, which was the
You know that
lost
one
it.
thing.
Yep. The Sled Shack episode. So it's now
Yeah.
we're winter time. First time we're in winter in Letterkenny.
Mhm.
Winter has come. Game of Thrones reference.
It was
And,
terrible.
and so they decided they were going to build a shed out there for partway down the sledding area so they could have a dart or a beer or a cocktail or whatever they wanted to have along the way, and that the D-gens are fucking it up,
DJs from up north.
and then
From up country.
up
Up
country,
country,
up
sorry.
up country.
Country.
Then we've got at the same time with the hockey players, we've got a Puck Bunny causing problems,
Mm-hmm.
and that all that filters over into this episode. This is kind of like a two-parter.
I was just gonna say that. Like, it feels like season 3, episode 1, and season 3, episode 2 could have been one very long episode.
Right.
So yeah.
Mhm.
So
So I have to make something clear here
Yeah,
first.
sure, go ahead.
Mark came to me 3 days ago and told me we're going to be on a podcast.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, really? What's it about? Then he told me about the show. And I watched the first episode to see what it was all about. And
Well, he didn't even.
this episode, Puck Bunny.
He didn't even
So
tell
I
you to
am
watch the best
fresh.
episodes.
I am fresh into this,
Oh.
so you guys got to bear with me.
hey, no,
Oh,
hey,
no, that's
Watch
okay.
As many as he could.
that's not a problem. So we'll
The next one you need to watch
Well-
is Super Soft Birthday.
Super
though.
Soft Birthday.
That's the best I think of the
Oh,
entire
yeah,
series
that's a
so
good
far.
Okay.
That's good.
I'm actually thinking of calling in sick this week just so I can binge watch.
you can skip Fart Book.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I agree. That was part of it was good, but not all of it.
There's some
There's some
good stuff with Devin in there that I think that
Yeah.
I enjoy, especially if you've watched The Social Network. But-
hmm And funny
Yeah.
enough, this particular episode calls back to Fartbook because they
Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, we get into Derry and Wayne sitting in the shed, and
Wayne his poopy face.
Wayne is he's just grumpy, poopy pants.
Poopy face.
Derry's giving him grief about him pouting. The bird's going to come land on his lip and poop on it. Then they're talking about the D-Gens, which that's what he's grumpy about. And then
was it Jive and Pete? He's been hanging out with the D-Gens.
Jive and Pete's been hanging out with the D-Gens. And then Squirrely Dan walks in, says, "Guess what? Chicken butt." And then he lays a fart. And then Wayne says that's inappropriate because he's farting in close quarters. And they have a whole discussion about where it's appropriate or where it is or is not appropriate to fart. And Wayne is just not having it. He zips up and gives a...
Want to know what? If you needs me, I'm going to be outside. Farting appropriately.
Yeah, so obviously Squirrely Dan was the one that said that.
Yeah, did I say...
You said,
did I say Derek?
you said Wayne.
Wayne. Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
That's all right.
Hey, you should be used to that by now.
I absolutely
Thank
am.
you. So, it's like in our first episode when I was referring to Ontario as a city. Yeah, and I knew that was incorrect when I went back and listened to it. I'm like, oh fuck.
Downtown Ontario.
Yeah. Oh boy. But anyway, so we then go to the hockey rink. We're in the locker room, and
This was amazing, by the way.
Riley and
Right.
Jonesy having.
Well, it starts with the coach,
well,
really.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's Riley and Jonesy say, listen up, pheasants, and then coach walks in. Listen up, pheasants.
Coach,
Good.
players only meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which all harkens back to that last episode. So oddly enough, the players don't know what a puck bunny is.
Yeah.
Riley and Jonesy have to explain what a puck bunny. Well, I guess it's because the boys have all.
Oh, they were all married
all been
before this
married.
happened. Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
So trying to explain what a puck bunny is, and so they each talk about what they experiences they've had, and they get to Boomtown.
Oh, Boomtown.
Oh my God!
And
Yes.
he says.
I once accidentally shit my pants while masturbating in 2010 when Crosby scored an OT to win gold while I was simultaneously mid-orgasm. There was no one else there. But don't you think that's a good story?
That was a golden moment.
Oh, Boomtown.
Oh, Boomtown. You feel.
I think Boomtown has Asperger's because some of the stuff that he says, like he's like hyper aware of social situations, which is me.
Yeah.
And but also at the same time says very inappropriate things.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause then- yeah,
I've
'cause
had
then he comes
students
back-
like that.
Yeah, because then he comes back after it because they go through it again, and he says, "Nobody reacted to my 2010 story."
And now I feel like I shared too much.
I feel very insecure.
Oh,
And
Sounds like he's going to shit himself again.
Right?
Exactly. And so then Angie walks in, says to him, "We're going to go get some to all of them. We're going
all of them.
all
yes.
of them. Let's go get some appies." So they which starts a fight. Riley and Jonesy chase out after her. She starts speaking puck bunny to him, and they
it's
can't.
like kryptonite for them.
Yeah, they can't handle it.
Now, one of the things that I liked
Yeah.
about her coming into this, was I think was there only one other time that we saw Angie, and that was at the end of the season where she says she wants Wayne back, right?
The other episode was the relationships episode where
Very
Wayne went on
beginning.
3 dates. The 3 dates, Goldilocks and the 3 dates.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, no,
she-
we've seen her a
okay.
couple because we saw her before that when she was with the douchey dude, didn't we?
No,
Oh,
she wasn't
okay,
with
yeah,
him.
yeah.
She wasn't. You've never seen them together.
Oh, okay.
So
No, yeah, because Wayne kicked his ass
Right.
outside Modine's, right?
Right.
But
yes.
the only time in the pilot episode that you knew anything about her was her name was written on the
Right.
bathroom
Right.
checklist.
Right.
You are right. You got me on
And
that one.
so I think it was awesome that they did really finally bring her in to
Right.
and have some lines and you know, because she was one character that really like disrupted Wayne's life in
Right.
a big way.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
And was still doing
yeah,
it up
like,
until the end of the last season, since she called him and said she wanted him back in our season
Yeah,
up.
she
season,
shows up.
finale.
She shows up
Yeah.
there at the end and says,
Oh, yeah.
and
no,
then
it was Tannis on the
is
phone.
pregnant. And,
Yeah.
yeah, Tannis is pregnant. Yep. And then
Yeah.
so we get to we cut to the kitchen. Riley and Jonesy decide they have to get somebody to help them out with their situation. They know
Someone
who it
who
is.
can speak Puck Bunny.
Someone who can speak Putt Bunny.
Berta.
We get a smoke bomb and a ninja dust, and they're
the
out.
smoke bomb and ninja dust.
This
Ninja
is
dust.
also my favorite part in this episode.
Oh, I fucking love
loved it.
that.
And I like the guy who's cleaning up in the background. I was like, what the fuck are these idiots doing?
Right?
I'm going to try the ninja dust at work when I get called into the office.
The kids in my class already think I'm a total nerd, so I might as well.
Sure.
Ninja dust.
End of the day. Ninja dust.
Yeah.
Then we cut to the kitchen. We got Wayne, Derry, Squirrely Dan, Katie sitting at the table talking about what they're going to do about how they're going to fuck that pig, about handling the D-gens. And she said that she had sent out Shep and Kingsley to go take pictures.
Kingsley.
And they show up with their coats on, no shirts.
Put a fucking
Yeah.
shirt on.
No,
And the look that Wayne gives.
Oh my God, he gets so salty.
Oh, he's just.
Can I
he's
ask you a
just-
question?
Yeah,
Why are there so many shirtless guys in this series?
because
Most of them are dating Katie.
because of Katie.
Okay.
Most of them, when you see a shirtless guy, chances are Katie is nearby.
Okay, so they're basically her pets.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you haven't seen the lead up into this. Absolutely. They are a couple of models that she met when she went into the city
Mm-hmm.
and brought back home because
back.
they had no money and no
That is
shirts.
awesome.
and now they are so chunky.
They're so chunky. That's the only thing they ever talk about is how fat they are. And
So yeah, then we get into they bring in the pictures of their modeling next to all the crap that's on the
Right,
ground.
right.
The-
supposed to be pictures of the stuff that the D-Gens did.
right,
Yeah,
along with the piss
yeah.
stains that are in the snow. So-
And like the very last one of them's like looking like he's gonna eat
Yeah,
the
like
snow.
he's got his tongue sticking out. And so they then they ask for the photos back so they can put them in their portfolio. So they decide they're
Yeah.
going to find the D-Gens, kick their asses. They take off. Katie's sitting there, and then Riley and Jonesy show up and ask for her help with the Puck Bunny. She's like,
She says, not my pig,
not
not
my-
my.
"Hey, not my
Not
pig,
my-
not my,
Not my
not my."
farm.
And but she goes, "But I'd like to know her. I'd like to meet her."
But,
Sounds like
we already
he
do.
goes, you know her. Who is it? Angie.
The
In.
Angie?
The Angie. Yes. In.
And
In.
what I like about that too, it goes to show like how much love Katie and Wayne have for each other.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, like they just like they rip at each other, like they parent each
Oh,
other.
yeah.
It almost seems. And then when it comes to something like that, they're like got each other's backs, like
Oh,
no
totally.
questions asked.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, because
Oh,
also,
just awesome.
because also at the very beginning of that scene, he had just cleaned off her sled for her,
Mhm.
and don't say it never did nothing for you, because then
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
comes back when
When she
when she does later.
confronts
So
the Puck
yeah,
Bunny.
so we cut to the shed. We got Wayne, Derry, Squirrely Dan, Joint Boy, McMurray, and Tyson are all
McMurray
out
with
there.
that terrible haircut. He's
Well,
got the
it-
terrible
it's-
haircut
well, it's-
now.
At least it's a terrible. It's better than it was last season.
He
where it's
cut
all
off the mullet
He cut
part.
off the
He cut
mullet,
off
and
the
it's
mullet
not
part.
shaved on the sides now. I mean, it doesn't look like some like half-wit white supremacist anymore.
That's true. That is true. I mean, he kind of does, but
But
that's true.
not as much as he did.
not as
So they discuss how they're going to handle the D-Gens. They're going to build D-Gen blinds. And
Yeah.
they're
they got
going
to set a trap for him.
to set a trap for them, and then by throwing first, they're going to try to throw a party for the ethnicities.
They're going to advertise a party for the ethnicities. Oh
It's
my
hard to
God,
say.
I did it too.
It's a hard word to say, ethnicities.
Like, I am an ethnicity. I should be able to say that word.
and then no, they don't like. That's not such a great
That's
idea.
kind of racist.
And then talk about for the homophobists that think because the DJ are all homophobists. And then what Squirrely Dan talking about because they talk about McMurray is talking about some big stuff being gay. And he says no.
Oh,
And Squirrely
yeah.
Dan gives him this.
See, Professor Tricia from my women's studies class teaches us that homophobia is not just condemning homosexualities, but it's also not using the appropriate and preferred terms what homosexuals likes to be called by.
I love that. I had that exact same conversation with our kid when he was much younger, and some of his friends were using that word a lot. And I basically had, that's racist. I can't be racist. It's still racist. Well, my black friend, nope, it's still racist.
Yeah. So they decide they're going to use fake gays.
Yes. Fake gays to draw in the D-gens
because what I was listening to.
Because the D-gens are racist.
And, well, it's funny.
And homophobes.
The racist homophobists. Homophobists. That's the first time
I should
I've
have written that down.
Well, I think Tyson even said homophobists.
Thank you. I knew it was something a little longer.
Well, because it had been used differently. Homophobes, homophobics, homophobists, homophobists. So they're going to get the fake gays. Where are we going to find the fake gays? And Wayne says, "I know where to look."
Wayne knows.
So cut back to the locker room. Angie's walking into the locker room looking for Bart, Schultze, Yorkie, Fisky, and Boomtown.
Good job.
And who's there but Katie? And they have full-on Puck Buddy chat off.
They
are dressed exactly the same,
right? Puck Bunny uniform.
Oh my god!
Puck Bunny uniform buddies.
And Katie getting closer. Oh,
like
that was hot.
I don't like Angie, but I every time I watch that episode, every time I'm just like,
you could tell which one is
a little closer.
You can tell which one is the Dom.
Little more.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right? Katie can tell me what to do anytime she wants to.
Because Angie was just like, yeah.
Right?
I'm like, uh-huh.
And it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like she just boot fucks her.
She doesn't want to do it with her eyes closed. She says, "Open your eyes." Open your eyes. Full on box kick.
Yeah. Would that actually hurt a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or drop a guy like a.
I don't think it's quite the same. I mean, if you,
it wouldn't be. Yeah, it wouldn't have the sting like what you guys, the long term sting that you would, but. Getting kicked anywhere is going to hurt, and that particular area does have a lot of
nerve endings.
That's a good way to put it.
I guess so.
A lot of nerve endings. So,
so then from there, oddly enough, we cut finally to the skids. We're in the basement.
It was a clown. We just cut to a clown.
Well, yeah, we cut to the clown walking downstairs.
Yeah.
Into the skids basement, and they're. The boys, the skids are hiding in waiting for the clown because they think it's Devin.
Right.
And so they all collapse on the clown, and Stuart says, "We've got you now, Devin." And they pull off the mask and
Rolled. The scream at the end.
I love Rolled.
It's like, okay,
Rolled is a skid version of Boomtown.
See, I was gonna say I had a friend growing up who didn't come out as gay until after high school, and one of the things that to this day he still kind of knocks on about is like how do I put this? If I pointed at my belly and said, "Look at my uterus," he would freak out. So, like the idea of the uterus and vagina, and vaginas have teeth, and like that's Rolled is my friend. Like I grew up with someone just like to some extent. I mean, I know that this friend does not listen to this podcast or watch Letterkenny, so I won't get in trouble for this. Shush now. I did not say.
I didn't say either. So then we cut to the shed that night, and we're out there with all the guys again. They're doing their last minute checklist before they're planning their fight, and things just start to fall apart. And Wayne says maybe it's just better to repel them than to try to draw them here. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And Shep and Kingsley are out there posing.
Right.
Everybody else is freezing cold. They're out there in just their unzipped coats.
Yeah.
With no shirts on. And they, what could we use to repel the D-gens from here? And Wayne goes, I know where to look. Cut away, cut back again in front of the shed, and coming from out, you hear pissing out behind the shed, and then walking from either side, coming in the front, the Ginger and Boots.
Nobody wants to hang out with Ginger and Boots.
And you see the
That's
DJs
perfect.
hiding out. Says, I know those two guys fucked an ostrich or whatever they said. And that was it.
Yeah.
And cut to the final music, and that's the episode.
I like the little things like when Katie sends the model guys upstairs, like they both do like a little pose before they like actually go upstairs
As they're
like, look out the
walking.
window and then like head out. But
As
no,
they're
this is
walking, they're
definitely
doing
one
that like
was-
yes, strutting.
No, this is definitely one. Like I like the fact that Angie was in it, and like still, she just doesn't get how much of a shit disturber she actually is.
Just doesn't get it.
I feel like Angie is trying. I mean, she made a point to say, well, I'm not going to go near Riley and Jonesy. They're off limits. Like, she knows that
Katie will fuck her up.
Katie will fuck her shit up so
yeah,
much.
that's what she's like. She's like, I don't want to
And-
make you mad.
And
So is this the last we see of her then?
we no spoilers, so we won't tell you.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
we're pretending that this is the most recent episode
Yes.
of the most recent
Okay.
season.
Okay.
All right.
Even though we know in
Um,
another month or ish there will be season 7.
Yes, very true.
Right.
So yeah. So other thoughts, theories.
I just there was one part that was kind of a throwaway line when going back to when they're sitting in the kitchen and the models are when she sends them upstairs the first time.
Right.
And Wayne looks at Katie and's like, outdid yourself this time, kiddo. And she's like, yeah. Like, she is so obviously bored and she gets nothing out of this but sex, but she does really like that sex because she'll be like, yeah, but what they can do. Like,
oh yeah, stimulating
The
conversations.
sensations.
stimulate something.
Mm.
It was also kind of funny too, like when Riley and Jonesy show up, she's like actually kind of happy to see them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like even though
Frickin'
like they're
frack.
sharp as a marble, like just like the
But there's
model
so much
guys,
more.
like,
Yeah.
so there's just a bit more to it. Like they're like nicer guys, or at least there's a bit more of a conversation going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're thoughtful, at least somewhat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is when after Katie box kicks Angie, she walks out and calls Wayne and says, "Don't say I never did nothing for you."
There you go.
So-
There's that callback that you're talking about.
So yeah, they pay each other back all the time. So
Yeah.
and one term that was used, and we brought this up.
Oh, yeah.
by
EI,
Joy
boys.
Boy, EI,
Yeah, boys.
and so and so that
we
'cause
don't
that-
call that here. We
yeah,
don't call
because
it
I had
that
to look
here.
that up. So go ahead. You're from
Oh,
Canadian.
really?
Yeah. EI, it's stands for employment insurance. Basically, when you lose your job, quit your job, I
You get
guess it's
fractions back of what
Yeah.
you work.
Yep.
Yeah.
like government just sends you money because everybody pays into it when you have a job.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, like it's supposed to get you to, like, it'll get you by until,
Get you back on your feet kind of thing.
Yeah.
right.
Or keep you on your feet
Like,
while you're looking
well,
for
see,
new. We have unemployment
yeah,
insurance.
yeah, but
it's
yeah.
called unemployment
Yeah,
insurance.
right.
That's why, like, when they said EI or employment insurance, we were like, that's a new way to say it.
Like, just to give you an example, like both of us went to trade school, but when we were off at school, you were collecting EI while you're going at school. So
Shut
it's an
up.
acceptable time to go for it. Oh yeah, like, well, Kevin and I work for the same company. Like, we were paid our wage while we were at school.
Oh my
so-
God.
But there were other guys that were collecting it. Thing that sucked, like, you cannot register for it until you were actually off work. So you have to wait a period of time before you even see a check.
Exactly.
So-
But
Mhm.
you
There
don't
was
get
guys-
that. You don't get that check unless you work 690 hours at your previous job.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
So-
so, like,
so
there
that's
was
about a
guys
third
that
of the
weren't
year.
getting, that went like weeks without getting paid. Like, they're basically like loading up their credit card or something like that so they can eat and like pay rent or whatever.
So do you only get it for
It's-
so long?
You can, as long as you're not working, I think, like, you still have to keep proving that you're looking for a job.
Okay.
I think, like, just as an example, like in Train Spotting, like how,
Right.
like, Spud goes in and
Right.
tries to, like,
Exactly.
on speed and just fucks up royally, right?
Right, exactly.
But no, that's yeah. So EI, you're getting money in, but
Yeah, because
you get laid off.
It runs out here.
yeah, here it runs out after a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
okay.
and then that's actually one of the biggest reasons why all of the unemployment statistics that you see coming out of the U.S. are complete bullshit. It's because it doesn't take into account everybody who's been on unemployment so long that they have now lost it.
Right.
So you've got people who are taking $5 an hour jobs and being counted as employed
Right.
when they were probably making $40 or $50 an hour at the job that they lost, and it doesn't. None of that is taken into account when the government goes, "Hey, look, we're creating more jobs.
Right.
Everything's great."
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's the political part of this conversation.
Should we talk about religion now?
Oh, there was no religion in this one.
There was no Pastor
no
Glenn.
Glenn.
I just want to be close to Wayne. That's coming
what
up.
a great character that is. Too.
Oh,
Like,
you know, and he's amazing as a writer too,
Yeah.
because he writes these
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
So he's basically the showrunner along with Jared Kiso. So
that's Wayne.
yeah. So out of curiosity, and this a little sidetrack, but it is still Kiso-esque. Have you guys watched 19-2?
I watched the first episode of it,
Okay.
and it was weird seeing it just seemed like another cop show.
Mhm.
Again, like I didn't really give it a whole lot of time because of kids and all that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
if I get into a show, like I basically have to hide in a closet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
watch it.
We remember those
So,
days.
Like, nobody bothers me, and it's
Right.
like 9 times out of 10 inappropriate for children.
Uh-huh.
So, but I did give it a bit of a chance. He also, from what I remember, there was a movie about this NHL coach
Oh,
Yeah.
named
yeah.
Don Cherry.
Yes.
A couple
And
of
I
them.
think he played Don Cherry in it.
Yep.
And if you guys are getting an NHL franchise next year,
Yes.
if you ever get a chance to, on CBC, they have Don Cherry. Like, he's this very outspoken, politically incorrect, old school guy that, he's misogynistic. He's got something against Europeans, and Russians especially.
Oh, geez.
But he's quite the character. Some people still like take what he says like as gospel.
It's like old
Whereas,
football
like,
guys here.
Everybody else in the world's just like, dude,
That's what I
like
was just gonna say.
he's like one step away from just being like in a home. Like,
Who's
that's how old he is. But
the Cowboys coach
No,
that you're always talking about?
Tom Landry?
Tom
Yeah.
Landry. It's like Tom Landry. Like
yes,
that's
yes.
No, Tom Landry
legend
died.
status.
Yeah, he's legend status. He was never. I mean, but there are some old football player guys who.
Oh yeah, I was talking more about
Oh,
how.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That would be most of them.
Yeah. Old white football player guys.
Yeah.
Like, imagine John Madden as being like
Oh
Yeah.
man.
borderline racist,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a
Like,
guy.
that's what it
That is a perfect example, dude.
is.
Well, and fortunately,
somebody who's like highly
John,
revered, but like just
yeah,
what
John
comes out
couldn't.
of his mouth is like
John couldn't be racist. He was in Oakland.
That is true. He would not have survived.
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah. But
Now I know one of the things that you guys usually do is I think we missed it at the beginning, was ask us about how we got into
oh
Letterkenny.
yeah.
yeah.
I did forget that.
Shameful.
Like Kevin's brand new to it, but
Right.
I remember just like you guys, seeing this little video on Facebook all the time, and I
Yep.
think it was like farmers versus hockey players
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yep.
And it was like the opening to like the pilot episode,
Right.
Yeah.
And I just remember I think I copied the video and watched it over and over again, but I don't remember seeing other, that was really the only one that stuck out to me and the one that I remember now seeing
Mhm.
most of the time.
Right.
But then we at home, my wife and I, we got rid of our cable.
Right.
So we just used Netflix and stuff like that. And so when Crave came out, I was I had to convince my wife to get it. She's like, "Oh, we've got Netflix." I'm like, "No, but it's got this show on it." She can't stand it because she doesn't like the way they talk. They sound like auctioneers sometimes.
Jim Dickens.
Jim Dickens.
Yeah, no, exactly. Tom Dixon.
Dickens.
Like
Dickens.
he,
Dickens.
I convinced her to do it, so she finally like broke down, and like I think there was only the first season of Crave going on,
Mhm.
and so yeah, I was watching all of it. Like Part Book, I'd skip over, but there was a lot of the other ones that were really funny.
Oh yeah.
And probably one of my favorite episodes is the Dragon's Den type
Oh, the Shark Tank.
show.
Yes.
Yes, the Shark Tank one. Yeah, there's a show called Dragon's Den
Right.
here on CBC. Same,
Right.
basically the same thing. And yeah, like just like the whole thing was so funny. But yeah, like I kept on watching this, and then when there was finally access to Crave, and now my wife watches Crave more than Netflix because of Game of Thrones.
Ah, yeah.
But that's how I got into it. And like another funny side note to that, the supervisor for my department, not Kevin's department, sent a link to that whole little intro piece to basically everybody in management because he thought it was really funny.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
Oh yeah, he got in a lot of trouble for that because like TikTok, like do CrossFit or
Cross fuck off.
off. Like,
You're handing out some free.
Oh, man.
How many times you pull your horn today, buddy? More than 10, you're an animal. Handing out some free literature.
Feeding the geese.
I swear, he tries to make me snort in every episode. He was over here miming jacking off while saying that. I couldn't not laugh. I couldn't.
What's up with your body hair, Big Shoots? You got the body of a 12-year-old Dutch girl.
Oh yeah, but no, it's amazing how they've like. It's unfortunate that it's only like 6 episodes a season with
Yeah.
like the bonus ones and stuff, like
Right.
Mhm.
all the holidays and whatnot. But
Yeah, they
I'm
didn't
going to
do
make
that.
it a mission to finish every episode by the end of the week.
You can do. Hey, it's easy. They're only like 25 minutes long, so
Yeah, exactly.
super easy.
get Crave on your phone.
Yeah, you can. Well, and you can even like the last 2 minutes are a song anyway, generally. So
So like you guys got into it the same way. Like I've heard you say that you went like through hell or high water to like watch any episode.
Yeah, that was absolutely him.
yeah,
It took me a little bit longer because my sense of humor is stilted sometimes. I'll be honest.
she's got to be in the right frame of
I
mind.
have to be in the right frame of mind, especially the first time I'm watching something. And I will not blame this on being autistic, but I will say that I think that being autistic makes it harder for me to find things and like find comedies funny in general.
Right.
And so I think it was the Super Soft Birthday was the first episode that I was like, okay, I'll pay attention to a little bit. This is cute. I like
Right.
that. And then
Yeah.
I think you were probably all the way done with season 1 before I was like, okay, I'll watch it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'd just seen snippets here and there whenever I like came into whatever room you were watching.
Because
it or
yeah,
whatever.
because around that time is when everybody was posting the steak grilling episode, that scene about grilling steak.
And that was
And the
technically
native
before
flu.
before it was legal to watch it in the US. We watched it, so I'm just saying
I don't know what you're talking about.
that. I'm just saying that. What am I saying?
That's inappropriate. So any other thoughts, questions, or theories? I don't think I missed any
I do
other
have a
terms.
question about this episode.
Yes.
What the fuck was up with the clown? Where did the clown come from?
See, yeah,
Yes.
that's
Oh, that was gay.
So,
Yeah,
well,
so-
no, we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet.
Oh,
We don't-
sorry.
No
You can edit
spoilers.
that part out.
And why did a guy slide out from underneath the clown?
That's rules.
because that's rolled. He's
That is
tiny.
rolled.
He's tiny.
He's interesting. Now, so all that we know at this point about the clown is that the beginning or the end of season 2, we have this character called Devin, and the beginning of season 3, Devin's just disappeared. He just left. He took his stuff and he left. And at the end of that first episode, which if you have not seen season 3, episode 1, the end of the episode is this clown throwing like a stink
A stink
bomb
bomb in.
into the basement, and they all think it's Devin. So this is the second
Okay.
time the clown has come around.
Okay.
So technically, we know nothing other than it's a girl.
It's a girl.
Huh.
And then Rolled freaking out.
But she's a very cute girl.
Yes.
And we have seen her in other things. She was in what was the was 11/22/63. She was
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
she,
Yeah, I forgot
she
about
was the
that.
actress that was in 11/22/63.
Oh, yeah.
Just different hair color. That's why it
Yeah.
like yeah.
She's
I
blonde.
missed that.
She was
You
blonde.
said
and-
that so fast. I was like trying to think of like, why do I know that number?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, you guys are horror fans. You better know that one. I'm just
Yeah.
So so she played the love interest in
Mhm.
that. And so
Forgot about that.
and we don't know her name yet in this. But
We will.
we will. And you've
Yeah.
already said it. I guess we'll just go ahead. Her name, you will find out, is Gay.
GAE.
And the conversation between Rold and her about that is hilarious.
Because
So I
he's
think-
gay.
So that's coming up next shall we get into, are there other questions or shall we?
Actually, I really wanted to point out there was a quote that Derry said 2 or 3 times that I want to repeat it for myself because I'm very verbose. I talk a lot, and sometimes I need to remember that the less you say now, the less you'll have to apologize for later. I need to remember
Nice.
that when I've had 2 glasses of wine.
One of the things I wanted to mention to you guys
Yeah.
is that both Boomtown and the Coach have been in commercials up here in Canada.
Really?
Oh.
The
I'll have to look
Coach
for
was in a Tim Hortons commercial
Oh, Tim.
where like it was like somebody's last day or like some special occasion where they got this chili for that person.
Hmm.
And so there he is, like being all nice and stuff. And then I can't remember exactly the commercial that Boomtown was in, but I think it was like an antihistamine commercial where like this woman jumps into his arms or whatever, and he's like all confused. It was, I think it was either that or it was like an E-Trade or something like that. But like it was like I remember watching like that the first episode where they show like the dressing room and stuff. And like, oh my, that guy too, like, because the season before had the Coach and stuff like that,
Right.
and so I'm like, oh man, that's the guy from the Tim Hortons commercial.
It's funny seeing these guys out doing other things. I mean, like we just watched Psych.
Jared
and-
Kisa with
and
the
Jared-
terrible accent.
Yeah, doing this
yeah?
terrible posh LA
Oh
accent.
my God. Yeah, he was bunny. Like I can't. Oh,
We've got to
Have
get
you
them.
guys-
Yes.
Yeah, being like a young Thurston Howell the
thank
third.
you. Yes, that's what I was trying to remember.
So
Have you guys watched any of Squirrely Dan's stand up?
I have
Some, yeah.
the one on Netflix. That's
Yeah.
the Comedians of the World.
Yes.
I tried watching that. It was really difficult to watch. Like I'm waiting for everything to be pluralized, but like at the same time, it just I don't know, like it just didn't jump out at me.
It's
yet.
weird.
Well, it's also he refers to himself in the show, which I
Right.
find really hilarious. I can't remember what episode, but it was
That
somewhere in
was-
season 2.
That was the relationships where he's talking about the attention spades to his butthole.
And yeah, and he was talking about this comedian,
He was watching Just for Laughs, and
which he's talking about himself.
yeah, there's this.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
this comedian on the Just for Laughs, and he's pretty good. He says, "Was he all right? Yeah, he's a little bit long winded, but he's pretty good."
He's a good guy. Good guy. Good guy. All right, good guy. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's definitely self-referential.
And how many of those characters have shown up on Supernatural, or those actors have shown up on
Well,
Supernatural?
Jared Queso's been on it. Derry's been on right now. Stewart's been on it. Stewart's been on it
a lot.
twice.
Yeah.
He was in
Okay.
he was in season 1, episode 8, Bugs.
I
where he
love that
played
you
a
know
kid.
exactly what episode. Oh, Jesus.
And then he was in season 6 for a few episodes.
Ugh, I think
as-
I'm a nerd.
as the angel Samandriel.
I don't know if you guys have heard of a show called Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
we haven't seen it yet though.
Yeah, no, it's on the queue.
One of the most latest episodes, Gail is on it. I think
I
she
did
only
see
has
a
a line
picture.
or two,
Uh-huh.
but like just briefly, like you just see him like, hey, it's Gail. She might have like 1 or 2 lines, but like not much. I was like waiting for something like her character in Letterkenny to come out in this show.
Start grinding around.
Just masturbating in my pants without my hands. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Damn girl, you shit with that ass. I want to jerk off her dad just to see where she came from. She has the best
Oh,
line.
she really does.
All right,
You
so
gotta get on.
Yes,
So-
I'm missing out, guys.
You are so missing out. I hope that we have convinced you to watch the entire series.
Oh, of course, of
Awesome.
course.
so shall we
If
jump
you have us on
into
again, I will be up
Yeah.
to date on
Hell
everything.
yeah.
so shall we jump into fuck fighting Ferda?
Ferda.
Ferda.
Ferda wins.
So yeah, so fuck, fight, and Ferdo. So it's our version of fuck, marry, kill for Letterkenny, because we don't believe in killing anybody if we can keep from it. Maybe just the degens from upcountry, and we'll use ginger boots to get them.
Yes. Or keep them away.
Or keep them away, repel them. So as we do, we like to start off with Wayne. So Tiara.
I love it when I'm the token girl. Although with this episode, there's not a lot of me wanting to.
He's just a poopy pants.
He's such a poopy pants, and I'm married to a poopy pants sometimes, so it's okay. So in this episode, Ferda on Wayne.
Kevin, Mark,
what do you think, Kevin?
I'm gonna go with fight. Just because he has a poopy pants, like you guys said.
Yeah.
This man
No, he needs to grow some balls.
He might hurt you.
If you bring him out to Edmonton, he may not be the toughest guy in Edmonton.
I would have to say Ferda. Like he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got his sister with the
he needs
two
some
models
help.
coming back.
He needs a friend.
He needs a hand. And I mean, when they're trying to hammer out the details out in the snow by the shack, what to do with the degens, like he's taking on, like he even says, I'm
no more
choring.
migraine.
Getting a migraine from this.
It's like choring and picking rocks at the same time.
All right, so Derry
Ferda for me.
Yeah, I can't really think of much in this episode that really stands out for anything other than that.
In fact, I think he kind of helps Wayne not have such a headache. Like he's, kind of taking over the situation.
Yeah, he stepped in quite a bit.
Yeah, he chooses where to set up the degen blinds.
Yeah. Points over his shoulder. I love that. That was a great
different direction.
There and there.
All right, Squirrely Dan's.
Oh, this pains me, but for the first time, I'm going to have to say fight because fuck you. Don't you fart in front of me.
You ain't supposed to fart in front of girls.
You ain't supposed to fart in front of girls. No, honestly, like, I don't care if you fart, but don't just do it on purpose in front of me. That's not my deal. That's not my deal. Like, oops. Okay, cool. No problem. I held it in for you. No, that's... We're going to fight. We're going to have words over this.
I think I'm going to fight him, too.
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that is the first time for me I've said fight for Squirrely Dan.
I don't think anybody's ever tried to fight Squirrely Dan.
I usually want to fuck him because that's my type. Big boys were funny. Love it.
I would have to say fight too. There's just too many situations where there's farting going on, especially when you're eating,
right?
And especially when you're in you're in an ice fishing shack. There's no room to breathe. Like,
no ventilation.
I
no
don't want
windows.
shit sports.
Right?
Definitely around food, though. Yeah. That is fucking sick.
Right?
Yeah.
Even around your sushis and sashimis.
Or your tomato soup and Montreal steak spice.
I love how Joint Boy picked up on that.
Yes.
So, Miss Katie's. I think I know where we're going with this.
Yeah. I'll give a reason. Okay, I'm going to say fuck, and I say fuck because of how she stands up for Wayne and understands like there's that love right there.
Yep.
Yeah, and most of the time I'm really not that into Katie, but yeah, in this one I'm like fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of weirdly turned me on when she was talking like a puck bunny.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think that was going to be a thing, but apparently that might be a thing. I don't
know. All right, so it's fuck all around for Miss Katie's.
Yep.
That's what we appreciate about her.
Oh, is that what you appreciate about her?
True.
All right. And because they are a duo, Riley and Jonesy.
I think for the first time ever, I'm going to actually say fuck on that.
Oh.
I am.
Oh, my.
Because they're all about, like, they just want their team to be a team again. They know that once their team is a team again, they're going to lose their first place status on the team.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
Sorry, what did you pick again?
She picked fuck.
I picked fuck.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of sexy to me when you're willing to sacrifice something that you really want so that as a team you can grow. I think that's really sexy.
I'm definitely going further with this one as well.
All right, then.
You know, just two guys trying to keep the team together, like you said.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'll say fuck too for exactly those same reasons.
All right, then.
All right.
All right. So then, and also because they're a duo, Shep and Kingsley.
Ugh.
Put a
They
fucking
Shep
shirt
and
on.
Kingsley.
They annoy me just
Oh,
being
God.
in the room. They don't
Are
have
these the
to
shirtless
say
guys?
anything.
Yeah.
Those are the
Oh,
shirtless
fuck.
guys.
No,
Right?
not fuck. Not fuck.
Put a fucking shirt on. Yeah.
Oh, definitely fight these pansies.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we're fighting. We are definitely
A
fighting.
Yeah.
couple of pansies. All right, so we're fighting them. All right.
No, they're just way too annoying.
So then,
Hang
as a
on.
group, the hockey players.
I'd say Ferda. Like, Angie's
I-
broken up the room. They're
Yeah.
fighting with each other.
Yep.
They all need a little help.
Yeah,
and
they're already fighting. So
They're already fighting.
Yeah.
That is true. I'm still kind of on that fence though, because all of them up until meeting Angie were like these happily married guys that love their wife, like they love their everything. And in a very short period of time, someone who just wants to have sex with them can break up their marriage. And I feel that's really
fight worthy.
fight worthy.
I understand that.
It's not consensual on all ends.
All right.
Mhm.
Sorry, what?
All right then.
All right then.
So you're fighting them.
I'm fighting them.
Whoa.
I think
Okay,
I
that's
think
surprising.
Boomtown would be afraid of me though.
I
think-
very insecure.
That's that's what he would say. Actually, I could probably talk to him like one of my students, and he would end up in a puddle at my feet. So
All right. So that's a fight and a Ferda. What's the other one?
What do you want?
I'm doing Ferda as well. I'm
All
on board with Mark on this
All
one.
right. What about McMurray?
mm. Did I just make a Wayne sound? I did, didn't I?
Yeah. Mm.
No.
Oh, that's a dairy.
That's
I'm gonna say Ferda because he needs help transitioning into the 21st century.
Yeah.
into a wokeness.
You know, like finding out what is appropriate to say and what's not appropriate to say. And I mean, like poor Wayne's got to pay these guys just to help beat them, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it's
Yeah,
just like
I'd say Ferda because he needs some guidance.
yes,
he
yeah.
definitely needs guidance.
I agree. He needs a friend who's willing to do a lot of emotional labor with him.
Well-
That is not me.
Well, and
I've
and I
spent
like
my
it-
life doing
now-
emotional labor for other people. I
Now,
don't
one of
wanna
the
do that.
things that I would be against the fighting of Squirrely Dan is he was trying the entire time to say, "Listen, guys, this is how you should be taught. You shouldn't listen."
Well, yes, but I'm still about the farts, man. Like, Squirrely Dan is
Yeah.
the most woke of everyone on Letterkenny.
True.
He is the one who will pull out that women's studies
Professor Tricia.
information from Professor Patricia. And he's the one who, like, calls out the guys on their shit.
Yep.
But in this particular episode, shut up. In this particular, fuck you.
Knocking shit over.
Yeah, the farts outweigh everything for me. You know how I
Yeah.
am with
All
this.
right then.
And what happens in our car if you fart and you lock the windows?
I laugh a
You
lot.
better be going 60 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
With the windows open, yeah. But he will he will roll up the window and lock it
And
like,
turn
with
the heater
chocolate.
on.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
Like, right?
Right?
Big old shit box.
That's right. I'm hotboxing that shit. All right, so that's one Ferda for McMurray. What do we got? What else we got?
Ferda.
Ferda.
Ferda, just because I really don't want to fight him. I get annoyed by him very quickly.
So two Ferdas. Are we all? Are we across
What
the board,
do you-
Ferda?
I'm fighting this guy.
Oh, all right,
Ooh, all right.
all
Gotta
right.
learn them quick.
What about?
I have fought McMurray on a number of episodes. So
Yeah, Joint Boy.
Ferda.
yeah, in this
Ferda,
episode, he
Ferda.
just shows up to defend the shack, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Ferda.
Yeah, but he's got a doobie on him, so pass it around.
Dude, always. He's got it. I love that
boy.
just randomly he'll be in the middle of a sentence and he'll just like lick his joint and I'm just like, yeah, that's my sister. That is 100% my sister.
But I gotta say, he's one of the scariest looking dudes. Like, I mean, it
He's
just
got
seems
a-
like
he's
one
got a
step
head
away
like
from,
one of them
beating
East-
the fuck out of-
He got a head like an East Ireland statue and hangs out with a bunch of bearded dudes. Like looks like a bunch of surly uncles.
Joint Boy and the Surly Uncles. Wasn't that going to be
Yeah.
the name of a band we were
That
going to
was gonna
start?
be my punk band.
Yes.
Joint Boy and the Surly Uncles.
Yes. Well, then you'd have to start smoking pot, which you don't do. So
I can do edibles. Are we Ferda across the board for Joint Boy?
yeah,
Yeah, we are.
because you know he's going to pass that good shit.
All right, and Tyson.
Oh,
then.
for sure.
Same.
Yeah,
Ferda.
same
All
for.
right. Ginger and Boot.
Ew.
Nobody likes a ginger.
If you dressed
No,
up
no,
like
no, I kind of like gingers, but not this ginger.
if you dressed up like an ostrich,
Ah!
a sick ostrich.
I'm gonna say Ferda because they, in the end, stopped the degen.
That's
True
true.
story. True
True.
story.
So Ferda for the ginger and the boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always shown up when they were called.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mhm.
They're good friends. They're ready to fight, even if other people won't touch them because they're afraid.
Those ostrich fuckers.
I just anytime I think of the Ginger and Boots, I think of the episode where they show up to help fight
And they just stand
they just
there.
stand there like ready and nobody will come near them. That was when they were fighting the natives, yeah?
Yeah.
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 So
I think the native flu
Where-
episode.
the native flu.
Yeah, because wasn't it Stewart was selling cigarettes for more money and shit?
Yeah, that was all
native
part
flu.
of it,
It was
but not
the, fuss in the back bush.
Fuss in the back bush. That's the pot episode.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to catch up with you guys.
Oh my God.
So then let's go to this one could go either. I could see this going lots of
Oh.
different ways. Angie.
Can we do a fuck then a fight?
Yes. Or a fight and then a
Or do I
fuck.
have to pick one?
She might be okay with either.
She probably would be okay. I mean,
She looks like she could be dominated.
pretty sure.
She's tiny too.
She's tiny.
She's tiny. I mean,
Not by a
Katie.
man.
Katie is not that big, and she's tinier than Katie by like about 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would have to say fight
all right.
because of Wayne, because of the team,
Yeah.
because of everything.
Yeah, if I only have to pick one, I guess I'll fight her.
So this is where I get a little stuck because I don't like Angie.
Yeah.
I don't like what she did to Wayne, but I'm not going to
There's a
fault
buck
her for
coming.
wanting to have as much sex as she wants to because why the fuck not, right?
Yeah.
I do
Well,
fault
yeah.
her for not stopping when she knew that it was affecting the team.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of torn. I don't want to slut shame her, but then again, I also want her to grow a brain. So
Figure
I guess
it out.
Ferda. I guess Ferda.
Okay.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
All
Like
right.
I feel like she needs a friend
Road
to figure
less
this shit
traveled.
out,
All right. And the curve
which is weird. but-
oh, you know what? And I didn't
Oh.
do Stewart.
Stupid. Well, all of the skids in this one, they really just were a package deal there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need a friend. They were hoping it was their friend, but
Yeah, there wasn't much going on there. I'd say Ferda
Okay.
just
And so
yeah.
so we'll do that. We'll just say that for the skids overall. Then
Yeah.
the curveball will be gay.
we don't know anything about her other than
We
she dresses like a clown and throws stink bombs.
And she's bold. She's going right down into the den of the skids. She's not afraid.
Strong stomach, because I imagine there's a lot of body odor down
Oh,
Right?
I didn't want to think about
I mean, God, now
Oh.
that you mention it, I was a LARPer for a short period of time. And I had many friends whose basements we would do these activities in. They always smelled like old sock. Always.
there. And probably Doritos.
Mountain
I'm
Dew.
gonna
Mountain Dew, yeah.
Yeah.
Old socks, Mountain Dew, and cigarettes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
weed.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit, depending on which group I was with, weed.
Yeah.
Because some of them were like, oh, goodness. And some of them were like, are we actually LARPing or are we just getting drunk tonight? Shut up.
You're not allowed to keep things on the table anymore,
I
young
know.
lady.
You've told me that before. I apologize to all of our listeners. I am the one who keeps knocking the microphone because I am clumsy as fuck.
I even brought you another table over
I
there.
know. And then Evan moved it out of my reach, so it's just like it's not right there anymore.
So, gay. What are we doing? Are we doing anything with gay? Are we?
I think I'd say for me probably Ferda. Like she seems like she's pretty cool to like be doing what she's doing, and like nobody knows who she is.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks it's somebody else. So
Yep.
Yeah.
and like new to town, right?
Yeah, exactly. If I know it's not Devin, I'd be like, hey, you're new. Can we be friends?
Yeah.
Like, dressed as a clown walking around town, pretty sure several of my friends would be running screaming from you. But
And minus 40 too, right?
Right. Minus 40, and she's just wearing a little clown outfit.
Right.
Like she's not bundled up.
True.
I'm going to go Ferda as well. Like we said, we don't know much about her
Yeah.
yet, so why not bring her into the group, right?
So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So what's funny is really, I mean, Katie and Riley and Jonesy are the only ones getting any sex.
And surprisingly not with each other. And surprisingly not with each other.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So, what do you
So,
think about that? There,
I don't know what to think
lots
about
of friendliness. Squirrely Dan.
This was a friend
Squirrely
episode.
Dan and Kingston and Kingsley and
that.
Shep.
Kingsley.
Those are dogs' names.
Right?
They're getting their asses whooped, and Angie is too a little bit. So yeah. But yeah,
I mean, she did get kicked in the cunt by Katie, so
You
That's
used
a-
the C word. Oh, wow.
I know I don't even like the C word, but I've been using it more lately.
thought it was
I'll admit
forbidden.
it. I admit it. Cunt kick. Mostly because of this. I cannot stand
It's got a ring
McMurray
to it.
saying anything having to do with cunt.
That's the
Don't
name
do
of the
it.
episode.
Don't do it. Because
slit slam.
don't you motherfucker. When McMurray talks about sex in any way, I'm completely and totally grossed out. But I do believe it's because of McMurray that I am more comfortable with the word cunt.
Oh,
One of my favorite things about this show is how McMurray and Wayne always talk over each other.
Yeah.
when they first meet.
we're gonna do every time.
Every Oh, fuck, I love this
man.
show.
Pitter patter. TikTok. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's so. Mark, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh
This
my
has been a
gosh,
blast.
Wow,
yes,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank
And
you very much for having us.
hell
And
yeah.
all of you, again, you're coming on our horror podcast.
Yeah.
You two
Hell
team.
yeah.
You know,
I'll make him watch it with me.
I'll watch.
I'll take his phone away so he
I
actually
don't-
pays attention.
I don't mind watching. It's just not something that I will go in search of, I guess is what I was.
Okay, how about this?
Yeah.
We will give you 4 weeks to watch Friday the 13th, part 1 to 4.
Okay.
Can you do
I mean,
that?
Any one of
you know,
them.
I saw
No,
all,
no, all of them.
I saw all of those in the theater back when I was a kid.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
old.
really?
Yeah.
He's old.
I'm
Oh,
50.
so am I. You got 5 years on me.
And then you have 5 years on me then.
There you go.
1, 4. It
One,
is
two.
on
I remember.
my thing.
I remember seeing Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D in the theater.
Wow.
I definitely can't say that. Now I'm trying to think. Like I'm trying to remember. I know that I've seen several. I saw several of them in the theater, but at this point, I couldn't tell you which one I saw first.
First one for me was part 7.
Yeah, first one for me was Part 1. Kevin
God.
Bacon in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good. I'd like those when I was a kid. I think I watched just so many slasher movies when I was a kid.
That was me.
I got
Oh, but I didn't get. I didn't
got
get
burned
this.
out on them. That
That was me with like 80s comedy completely like ruined me for comedy. So, like I can still watch Die Hard, but I can't fucking watch like I don't know, name a comedy that's on now.
I don't know.
The Office.
Oh yeah.
I don't get it.
Oh, okay.
I don't get it. Most of that, anytime that it depends on, and this is why I think it's my my Spectrum-y stuff.
Mm.
Anytime it depends on like facial expressions and body humor and things like that, I don't get that as much.
Mm.
So that's probably a big reason why I don't get most American comedy. Like British
So you said
comedies
you
don't really
didn't
do
like
that.
The Office?
No, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get into it.
Really?
Or Parks and Rec, or any of the other ones that use that same kind of format. Didn't like Seinfeld. Didn't really like Friends. Like most sitcoms, situational comedies are not my cup of tea.
Yeah, there's only a few that we watch. I mean, what would you call Psych?
That would be another dramedy. That would be another
I think
dramedy
I've
because
only
it's
watched a handful of episodes.
Yeah, that's one thing because we watched
It's
it when it was on,
funny.
and then we're going through a rewatch now.
Yeah. it's
Oh,
funny,
okay.
but it also doesn't take itself seriously. It makes fun of itself,
Mhm.
and they
True.
use a very formulaic like cop drama
Yeah,
with the humor on top of it.
True.
I like that.
true.
I think I know what you mean, like with The Office and with Parks and Rec. There's always that awkward pause where Everything's like that's supposed to be the funny part,
Right.
Yeah, the cringy part.
I don't like cringing.
right?
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
cringing.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, when people are feeling uncomfortable and
Or
they're-
embarrassed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have you watched the original Office, like the British version?
no,
I saw a couple episodes of it. That was
I'm not a big fan of Ricky Gervais anyway.
Thank you. I was like, it was
Oh
Ricky.
no. Okay.
I,
Yeah,
I
Ricky
think he's
Gervais.
funny. I think he's. But back to the Friday the 13th movies. I think the first one that I probably saw was Final Chapter, so 84.
Okay. In the theater?
That's debatable. I would have been
Oh,
5,
no, okay.
so I'm guessing my dad didn't take me to it. But we also, like, I can remember that one on my small black and white TV. So I'm guessing my dad had it on VHS.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, the first one I saw in theater was Part 10 when they put him in space.
God, I think Jason Goes to Hell is probably the first one I saw in the theaters.
Oh wow.
However, I saw almost all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in the theater. I missed the first one because it was, just like right after I was born. But
That's no excuse.
I mean, we're talking about a family that let me start reading Stephen King at 5 because I was a precocious reader and could understand the words. So I'm
Oh,
pretty
wow.
sure.
Yeah, well, it's like Mitch Hedberg would say: he says, any book is a kid's book if the kid can read.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So anyway,
Anyway,
you let us know when you want us to be on there, and we will. So 4 weeks, we'll do it. We'll be there.
Excellent. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
we'll have to figure out a date.
absolutely. And Dean, for the most part, knows my schedule. So you will probably be working with him to figure that out.
Figured out.
Okay.
As long as he remembers that the month of June, I'm probably going to be losing my mind. So.
Oh yeah, finals and stuff.
Oh,
right?
right.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't listen to the show a lot, you probably don't know. So I'm a special education teacher. I work with children who have severe behavior disorders, and
Mhm.
the month of June. Well, one, it's extended because we had snow days, which makes no sense. But anyway, so we're in school for the entire month of June. And my students in particular, anytime there's a change in routine coming up, the anxiety
Oh,
ramps up.
I imagine.
So-
Okay.
Yeah. And one of I teach 3rd through 5th. I only have one 5th grader this year, but he's losing his mind because he's going to middle school next year. And it's such a huge change that it's
Oh.
all he can think about. And we're still 5 weeks left of school for 5th grade for him. So my life is a
middle
little
school-
crazy.
So break it down. Like we do things differently
Yes,
here.
that's
like,
right.
We've got like elementary is 1 to 6. Junior high is basically 7 and 8. I
Mhm.
think maybe to 9.
No, 7, 8.
7 and 8. Okay,
Yeah.
then 9, 10, 11, 12. Like we don't have like the junior, sophomore, senior kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like 1 to 12.
Right.
So like, what is middle school? Like, what is elementary?
So depending on where you ask, because in some
Okay.
parts of the country, it is still actually more closer to what you guys do.
Okay.
But in general, kindergarten through 5th grade is considered elementary school. 6th through 8th would be middle school, and then 9th through 12th would be high school. And
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
some places will do junior high instead of middle school, and junior high is usually 7, 8, 9.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that's why you kind of get. That's where the
Yeah,
differences tend to.
that's a lot of the old school thing
Yes.
down.
Mhm.
So if you got small towns, southern state,
Yeah.
you'll see that. There were some towns where, because I grew up in small town Texas, where I grew up was middle school, which 6, 7, 8. But there were towns near
Okay.
us. There were towns near us that had junior high, which 7, 8, 9,
Mhm.
and then high school 10, 11.
No, and I grew up in Seattle, and right before my time, like
Mhm.
when I hit 5th grade, shut up. When I hit 5th grade, that was the last year 6th graders were in my elementary school.
Ah.
And
Oh,
then,
okay.
so when I went to 6th grade, I was in the first 6th grade class in the new middle school. I believe, if that's
Right.
how, something like that.
All right.
Gotcha. Okay, well, how about this? We aim for July then after
Yes.
things settle down for you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That work?
Absolutely.
Cool.
After probably after the 4th, after Canada
I
Day,
imagine.
and
Yeah. For sure.
after the holiday, well, probably that weekend after the holiday.
That would probably be perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Super stoked.
Well,
All right,
guys,
well, thanks again for having us on.
totally. Thanks for being on, and we look forward to talking to you very soon.
Yes, this was so much fun.
Likewise.
And we're also happy to be the first Canadians that you guys have talked to about
Right.
Woo!
Hell yeah,
What an
Canada.
epic day.
Damn it, Canada, step up your
Ferda.
game. Come to the Facebook page and tell us you want to be on our show.
Ferda.
Ferda show.
Ferda show. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, great dog, burn that freeway down.
Thanks for listening to this episode of How Are You Now? If you like us, subscribe and give us a nice review. If you don't, well, we're not for everyone, but we thank you for listening anyway. If you'd like to contact us for any reason, we can be found on Facebook at How Are You Now Podcast. We can also be found on Twitter and Instagram at How Are You Now Pod and via email at howareyouNowPod@gmail.com. We'd like to thank our good friend Jack Rainwater from the Hard Money Saints for allowing us to use their music for our intro and outro. You can find them on Reverb Nation at Hard Money Saints. See you DJing soon.
You know, it's been too long since baby's been to town. Buy me a ticket on a great dog. I'm gonna get right out of town. I'm gonna get my baby if it takes everything I own. I said, oh, great dog, burn that freeway down. You know, it's been too long since baby's been to town. If you come back, baby, on a great dog, I promise I'll treat you right. Give you all my money in the daytime and that good loving every night. I said, oh,